Hello there, people. My name's Mr. Wolf. And I'm talking to you today from a place called Ryazan, Russia. That's right, Russia. We're about 350 kilometers south of Moscow, Russia. But I'm not here to talk geography with you people. I'm here to introduce to you a song called Sally Murphy, written by a friend of mine, Rolf Hogan, and recorded with guitar maestro André Courbat. But before I can let you hear the song, I gotta tell you a little story. That's a story about a guy called Courbat. And Courbat came from a place called County Mayo, Ireland. That's right, Ireland. You know, you fly over the Atlantic to England and you can't miss it. Yeah, it's a green, luminous, wet thing shining out of the ocean. Ireland. Now, legend has it that Courbat was bored one evening up there in County Mayo, Ireland, and he decided to take himself out for a walk. It was getting dark. And as he went past the old church, and the graveyard by the church, and the spot outside the graveyard where the old people say they used to bury witches, he bumped into a group of fairies, little people, pixies. And those fairies, well, they were doing some magic, yeah, they were going abracadabra. A horse would appear, and a fairy would jump up on top of the horse. They were doing this lots of times. There was lots of horses. And Courbat, like, well, being not the brightest kid in the world and awfully bored, decided to get up on a horse too. And next thing, all the horses take off into the night sky, fly for a while, and land down in France. Paris, France, to be precise. And once they were there, the fairies sneak into the palace of the King of France and steal his daughter. Now, the fairies wouldn't call that kidnapping. They call it rendition, yeah? Because they're keeping the world safe for fairy-mocracy. Good on those little people. Now, the fairies take the rendition princess and they put her in the saddle next to Courbat. Now, Courbat was an impressionable young man on the best of times. And there he was on a magic horse flying through the night sky with a French princess in his saddle. So he was pretty goddamn impressed that particular evening. And by the time he got back to County Mayo, Ireland, he was smitten, head over heels. Pour la versée, as the French would say, kind of like the girl. So when the fairies weren't looking, Courbat steals the princess and takes her home. Now, it was all above board, his mother was there, but the fairies were not impressed, yeah? So they put a spell on the princess. Yeah, they made her dumb. Incommunicado. That's incapable of speaking, people. But Courbat didn't mind. You know, he just kept on talking. He was Irish after all, you know. He ended up talking for about a year. And after about a year, the spell started to wear off. And the princess started to talk. And the first thing she said was, Courbat, you're such a nice guy. Courbat had a brief moment of absolute ecstasy. But then the princess continued and she said, Courbat, take me back to France! Now! Immediately! Tout de suite! Courbat was devastated, you know. He'd been dreaming about a small, modest to large cattle farm up there in County Mayo, Ireland, paid for by the King of France, but not to be. But Courbat was a gentleman, so he took the lady back to Paris, France. Well, legend has it she married the King of Burgundy, a very nice guy, not short of cash, and they settled down with lots of kids, and she lived happily ever after. And Courbat, well, he made his way back to County Mayo, Ireland, where he was struck dumb with grief. Yeah, he moped around the house, not saying nothing to no one. Only person there was his mother, and he didn't speak to her. Big mistake, because after a couple of days, his mother had had enough, and she threw him out of the house. Courbat picked himself up, took himself down the pub, had a few beers, checked out a few girls, and lived happily ever after. Now, people, if you feel a moral coming out of this story, you'd be absolutely correct. And here it comes, coming at you, the moral of the story. Well, love's a journey. Could be a long one. Could be a short one. But you better enjoy the ride. ride. Yeah, you better enjoy the ride, people. So here we go. Here's the song Sally Murphy by Rolf Hogan and André Courbat. It's streaming on Spotify and Apple Music and lots of other channels. And I'm not going to let you go without asking you to please follow me on Instagram and sign up to my YouTube channel, where I'm going to be introducing more of Hogan's songs and setting some context. Yeah, we'll be looking at themes like sex workers and religion, S&M and marriage, Napoleon Bonaparte, hemorrhoids and their effect on geopolitics, and my favorite, how to stop killer ants taking over the planet. Now, plenty there for everybody, people. So from me, Mr. Wolf here in Razan, Russia, a big Taspitania. Let's goodbye, farewell, good luck, and cheerio, folks.
Took her down to your old fair city, where the banks of the north, they reach Kilkenny. We'll crack the cry of dog as we chase the fox on the black bog. She said she was soon to marry, but she kissed me there in Kilmagany. Sally Murphy, Sally Murphy, wild hearts on a winter's journey, but the end has come, the traveling done. Godspeed, go with you, child. Lake snow falling on her hair, flotsam dance on the ocean air. Tory Island weather bound, her bare feet on the barren ground. If the king would paint her eyes, it could have been that night by the fireside. Sally Murphy, Sally Murphy, wild hearts on a winter's journey, but the end has come, the traveling done. Godspeed, go with you, child. A goal of pouring rain as we climbed aboard that silent train. Rue de Santa Hill ate so well, but by clinging core it was on the floor. Then it all came rushing to me, clear as sleep the morn on a winter's day. I near denied the love she gave me, her soft skin and her warmth beside me. Sally Murphy, your words still taunt me, leash on the boulevard. Curse the gale, the squalls and rain, but the night still calls her name. Sally Murphy, I love the journey. Slate skies of the winter country, but the end has come, traveling done. Godspeed, go with you, child. Sally Murphy.